Welcome to today's episode of the J&J podcast. I'm Jamie.
This is Jameson.
We want to welcome all of our listeners in to our special NBA playoff kickoff edition of the J&J podcast. We want to get into some of the play-in games and the first round predictions. We also have some award predictions that we want to give out today. So, Jameson, why don't you get us kicked off for the play-in games that are going to start, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got Mavs versus the Kings, then the Warriors and the Grizzlies, Bulls versus the Heat, Hawks versus the Magic. Let's start with the Mavs versus the Kings. Who you got?
Honestly, I want to take the Mavs, but I think I'm going to take the Kings. It's just like DeMar DeRozan always shows up in the play-in game, It seems like this is honestly like his tournament in a sense, dating back to when he was on the Bulls still. But I'm going to go with the Sacramento Kings. I think between Levine, DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis, they get it done. I'm going to rock out with the Kings.
I'm going to agree with you. And part of the reason I'm agreeing is because I just don't think the Mavs have built enough chemistry.
I agree.
With Anthony Davis being hurt, recently coming back, and then the debacle that was, Luka's return to Dallas, where he was pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, facts.
That's the AD that we sometimes used to get really, really frustrated with. So I don't necessarily think he's going to step it up. To be honest with you, so I'm taking the Kings as well.
Yes, sir.
Warriors versus Grizzlies. Who you got?
Man, it's gonna be a tough game. But I'm gonna be honest. I gotta go with Golden State. I just think that addition of Jimmy Butler is gonna be huge. But I will say this: I think Ja and Jaren Jackson both have really good games, especially Ja. But I feel like between Draymond's defense, Jimmy Butler being the X factor, and I mean Steph Curry is Steph Curry, I think the Warriors have enough to get it done against the Grizzlies.
I don't disagree, and we'll talk about where I think how that still plays out.
Yeah,
Because
for the
I still think the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
For this particular game, I am going to go with the Warriors as well. I think the way that they lost on Sunday,
yeah, that's a bad
um,
loss.
it's a bad loss. And the fact that you brought Buddy Hield in, literally had been cold the whole game, and he takes what's supposed to be the game-winning shot because you can't get a shot for Steph Curry.
Or Jimmy
That's
Butler, that's bad
or
ball.
Jimmy Butler. It's I literally you beat me to it. I was going to say talk about bad ball.
Yeah,
That's what that was. So
literally.
I think that left a bad taste in the Warriors' mouth. Pause. Um, so I feel like the Warriors will actually win this game because they have something to prove.
I agree.
Yep. Bulls versus Heat. This will be an
That's
interesting
gonna be a
matchup.
good game.
That Kobe White monster has been.
And speaking of that, that's who I'm picking. I have the Bulls winning that game. It's just here's what I'm gonna say. Bam Adebayo has kind of been a disappointment for me this season. I feel like this was his year to honestly take his game to the next level. And even ever since the Jimmy Butler trade, it's like the player that's taking his game to the next level has been Tyler Hero.
Yep.
But I think with the combination of Kobe White and Josh Giddey's been hooping the last month and a half, 2 months of the season as well. I think the Bulls have been on a tear. Huge shout out to Billy Donovan, the way he's been coaching that ball club. But I'm gonna take the Chicago Bulls in that game. I think Kobe White and Josh Giddey have a master class.
Well, you stole my thunder because I was certainly going to because Kobe White steps up in big
He
games.
does.
And listen, yes, I'm a Tar Heel homer. I'm a Carolina homer. Yes, I'm saying it. I admit it. But I think that he's going to show up and show out.
I agree.
So I'm taking the Bulls in that one as well. I think Tyler Hero's going to match it, but honestly, to your point, I just don't know that Bam has. I don't know if Bam is now capable of raising his game to
Yeah,
that next level.
it's
I think we
unfortunate.
maybe, I think we might have seen the best
Yeah,
that he's going to bring.
yes, sir.
So I like the Bulls in that one as well.
Me too.
Hawks versus Magic. Now I know this was going to be hard for you
Yeah, because of that Trey Young
because
monster.
exactly like so make this pick with your head and not your heart.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Um, and it pains me to say this because Trey Young is my favorite player, but I got to take the Magic. And here's what I'll say: if the Hawks had Jalen Johnson, it'd be a different discussion. He got hurt a couple months ago. Out for the rest of the season. But if you had him in that game to try to match up, with Paolo and Franz Wagner, I would feel better about things. But I just think between those two, they're also going to have more size. They also have more depth. I'm gonna take the Magic in that game. I still think Trae Young's gonna play well. Same with Dyson Daniels, Zachary Ricochet. I think it's gonna be a very competitive game, but I'm gonna rock out with the Magic in that game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think Paolo. I think Wagner. I just think that they've learned how to win now,
I
and
agree.
I kind of feel like the Hawks have had too much to overcome.
Yeah, I completely
You
agree.
you lose DeAndre Hunter. Um, to your point, Jalen Johnson got hurt.
Yeah.
Dudes are still figuring things out. Dyson Daniels has been a welcome addition.
Same with
He's been
Zachary
balling out,
Ricochet, but it's
and
like
Zachary.
he only
But
started
it took
playing good
him.
after the All Star break.
I was about to say it
Yeah.
literally took him more than half the season
Hmm.
to get his footing. So I think because of that, they don't know how to win yet.
Yeah.
Um, so Trey does, and I think that Trey could potentially take over, and I think that that's a strong possibility. So it wouldn't surprise me. I just think he has too much to overcome. He can't do it all by himself.
I agree. What I was
Uh,
gonna say too about the Magic is like, honestly, if it wasn't for Franz Wagner missing time and especially Paulo missing that month and a half that he did,
they wouldn't be in the play game.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So it's like that's also why I'm picking them as well. It's just now they're completely healthy. You know, I think KCP will be play a huge role in that game as well. I'm gonna take the Magic.
We are in agreement
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. All right, so let's jump to the actual first round.
Yeah.
Um, Now it's going to be Thunder versus the eighth seed, and we were talking about Warriors versus Grizzlies.
Mhm.
So, who do you think is going to actually be in that eighth seed from
The
those
Warriors.
playing games?
Yeah, so I think, like we said, I think the Warriors do beat the Grizzlies, but then I think the Grizzlies go on to beat the winner of the Mavs Kings. So I think
Yep.
the Grizzlies are going to end up playing the Thunder, and you already know my answer for that. I'm taking the Thunder in that series.
Yeah. And look, it's crazy. I actually agree with you. I
Yeah.
think the 7 and 8 seeds will be the Warriors and the Grizzlies.
Yes, sir.
I just again Mavs and again the Kings
Yep.
still trying to figure things out, still trying to learn how to win. Your point guard got traded.
Yep.
Um,
Zach LaVine's been
and
pretty much their primary ball handler. It's
yeah,
not saying he can't do that, but it's like he's not
he's not a
really
point guard.
exactly.
No, no.
Hmm.
So I'm agreeing with you. I think it's going to be the Grizzlies, but I think the Thunder will come out in that one.
Yeah.
And then we have the Nuggets versus Clippers. This
Ooh
could
wee.
be, ooh, exactly. This is an intriguing matchup.
You want to go first?
You
You want me
t-
to say mine first?
yeah. I got the Clippers. I'm just gonna go ahead
Oh,
and
same
put it out
here.
there. Listen. Nuggets are in disarray.
Yep.
Um, you don't know which Jamal Murray is going to show up.
Yep.
And that,
That
man, I mean,
Kawhi monster.
I was about to say, I mean, granted, he's had 3 years to rest. Okay, I'm doing an Anthony
No, you
Edwards with
you
that
you are right though.
one. I mean, I'm going a little bit extreme, but he's had essentially 2 years
Yeah.
to rest. So he looked fresh, and my God, James Harden. James Harden isn't even scoring at a ridiculously
No.
high clip, but he's efficiently scoring.
Yep.
He's getting other people involved, and he's scoring. He's making timely baskets.
Yep.
Um,
And I'm gonna tell you who's the
that-
X factor in that series. Is gonna be Zubac, because what people
I
aren't
agree.
realizing is he's also. I mean, we're gonna get to our awards later. He's also in the running to get Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
he's actually a center that's gonna give Jokic some problems defense. I'm not saying Jokic will probably still average a 30-point triple double, but
sure.
Zubac is going to make
won't
him
be
work for
easy.
that. Exactly. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Then on the other end, it's like the way James Harden has been getting him involved in the pick and roll and on offense, it's also going to force Jokic to have to play some defense. So,
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be huge. And then here's what I'm going to say as well. And this is also, come playoff time, it's about the X's and O's and the little things that win playoff games. The Nuggets have an interim head coach going up against Ty Lue. So that's also
Yes.
going to play a factor in my opinion. It's like, I'm not saying David Adelman cannot step in and make adjustments, but for him to have to go from, 2 regular season games to trying to outcoach Ty Lue, I just don't see it happening. And the Nuggets have no depth this year. That's also going to be a
Right.
problem for them.
Well, you and I talked about it. It's been a few weeks,
Hmm.
and I don't remember who the Nuggets were playing, but you and I were talking, and I said, "Dude, Jokic looks tired.
Yeah,
Like, like he was worn at one of those. It might have been the Lakers because
it was
the
the
way that we
Lakers and then
put,
that
yeah,
Timberwolves game, the way
and
that
the
ended.
Timberwolves game.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm like, this dude is tired. Like
yeah.
he looks gassed.
Hmm.
And I think that the Clippers, to your point, Ty Lue will put him in pick and rolls. He will make him play defense
Yep.
because they're going to have to rely on him. He's got to have almost a Herculean effort in
Facts.
order to beat the Clippers because they are clicking on all cylinders. And for those who don't know, Nick Powell,
That Norman Powell monster. That's
that
another name I
Norman,
didn't even mention. You're right.
exactly. So for those that don't know, I don't know for the life of me why, but I want to call Norman Powell Nick Powell all the time. Every time I get on the phone with Jameson, I'm like, what did Nick Powell do? Because he was on my fantasy team, and Jameson's like, Dad, that man's name is Norman.
Yeah,
His
that's
daddy
that.
named him Norman.
That's that Martin Luther Cream monster.
But that dude could be an X factor. See,
Yeah.
he is what KCP used to be
For the Nuggets.
for the Nuggets,
Yep.
and he's been a very vital part. I mean, like he helped keep them afloat until Kawhi came back.
And you got to think about it like this from the Nuggets perspective. We don't know how Jamal Murray's going to be because he's been hurt to end off the season as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So it's like the
absolutely.
Nuggets just have a lot of what ifs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like they just fired their coach, they fired their GM. Jamal Murray, we don't know his status. It's like Jokic just gassed because he's been having to do so much. It's just
yep,
like they and the Clippers have been on a tear. They're 13-1 since like I think it was March 17th I saw. And it's like I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest. I don't know if Kawhi has a bionic knee. I know people always say he's a robot, but it's like I don't know if he has a bionic knee. But that brother been playing like Jordan since he got back. I'm like, my
Absolutely.
goodness, that's that Kawhi monster.
Yeah, that Joker looked like the $6 million man. That's an old school TV show. We
Yep.
don't know a lot about that,
And
but
what's scary about Kawhi is it's like he's not just doing it on offense. It's like he's known for his defense. I'm seeing him pick up dudes full court.
yes,
Then go give dudes a bucket on offense. I'm like, and that combined with Norman Powell, almost said Nick Powell, but that combined with Norman Powell, and then James Harden hasn't looked this good since he was about to leave Houston. Like,
you're right.
it's just I love to see it, man. And like you said, I
It's
think Ty Lue is going to be the difference maker as well. His
it's a
adjustments.
recipe for disaster for
Yeah.
the Nuggets because let's just be honest. We don't know what, to your point, not just because he's hurt. Jamal Murray doesn't play great unless he plays against the
In
Lakers.
fact, he's not playing the right
Um,
LA team.
that's what I was gonna say. If it were the Lakers, he'd average 35 a game.
Yep.
I don't see that happening with the Clippers.
Me
I just
either.
don't. So I'm taking the Clippers.
I agree. I like that.
What they when I saw what they did to the Warriors the other night, I was like,
And Chris Dunn. I didn't even mention his name. Like
yes,
that brother defensively, Lord have
boy,
mercy.
that's clank clank when he's guarding somebody.
Exactly.
All right, so the one we of course are excited about,
Oh
Lakers
yeah.
versus Wolves. I'll let you take that one.
Lakers in 5. That's all I would say. But nah, here's how no troll, like jokingly. On a serious note, I think that series is gonna go either 5 or 6 games. Like, trust
I
me,
think it goes
I don't think we're sweeping the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is due for at least one or two 35 plus 40-point games.
Yep.
And here's what I'm gonna say as well. I think the difference is gonna be Luka. It's like we saw what he did to the Wolves last year, and it's like they don't have Karl Anthony Towns this year. So it's like
Yep.
I don't know who in the world is gonna be able to guard him. And then also too, like with the resurgence of not resurgence, but with Austin Reeves playing the way he's been playing, it's like you now have 3 dudes on the offensive end that are just legit scoring threats. It's like you can't double team Luka like they did, whenever he was still in the Mavericks. It's like you have LeBron and Austin Reeves to worry about. And then the way Rui has been playing the last month and a half, the way that brother been shooting the ball, it's like, I think, like I said, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think we win that series in 5 or 6. And honestly, I'm really intrigued to see, some of the playoff adjustments that JJ Redick makes from game to game. So overall, I'm intrigued, but I got the Lakers winning in 5 to 6 games.
Yep, I've got the Lakers winning in 6. I
Yes,
think
sir.
it'll actually go 6 games.
Yeah.
Just because, to your point, I think Ant Edwards will have some games. I
Yeah.
think, I'm not a fan. But Randall, I think he'll actually
I
have
agree.
a good game or two. Um, but I would agree with you. I just don't think. And here's the other part of it from a defensive standpoint. You know, think about what happens when DFS and Vando are deployed.
Yep.
Um, you know, and is going to get his, but if we make it difficult for him to get his, if he
Facts.
scores 40 and he scored 40 because that's the only way they're staying in games, you've got Vando or DFS guarding him. I'll be honest, I'm really not worried about Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
I hate to
And the
say
thing
it.
is, it's like if we're forcing Dante DiVincenzo and Jaden
Yes.
McDaniels to beat us, like we're winning that
And
in
Mike
5 or 6.
Conley,
Yeah, we're Mike Conley got to be 65 years old. No trouble.
honestly, I was going to say Mike Conley was on the same team that Magic Johnson was on.
I ain't gonna
Like,
hold you. Mike Conley played with the Big O. No troll. I'm not even trolling you. Like he
oh,
played with the Big O. He played for them Cincinnati Royal Monsters.
listen, I'm not going to debate it. So,
But yeah, to your point though, if we're forcing those guys to beat us, I feel really good about our chances in that series. And from a defensive standpoint, it's like Rudy Gobert is not really a threat on offense.
yeah.
So
And Mike Conley potentially might have to guard Austin Reeves. Good luck.
that's
Good luck.
barbecue chicken.
Yeah, I like that matchup.
Me
And that's
too.
no disrespect to Mike Conley
Yeah.
because he's a veteran, obviously had a very good career.
Yeah.
But he's
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 old.
97 years old.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
I feel good.
yeah, me too. Me too. Let's hope that we're, knock on wood,
Yeah.
let's hope we're right.
We're right, yes, sir.
All right, last one in the West, Rockets versus the 7 seed, which
We
you and
think
I
it's gonna
think
be
is
the
going to be
Warriors.
the yeah. So who do you think?
I'm gonna be honest, and this is no disrespect to the Warriors. I'm taking the Rockets.
Oh,
And here's what I'm gonna say: Sengun gonna be a problem.
yes.
Sengun and Amin Thompson, those are gonna be the problems. And here's what I'm gonna say: it's no disrespect to Steph Curry, and it's no disrespect to Jimmy Butler, Draymond. It's just Steph Curry is also dealing with that thumb injury, which is not being talked about enough. Jimmy Butler got hurt towards the end of that game yesterday, and I just feel like the Rockets are young. It's like they're playing with house money. It's like, and here's what I'm gonna say: it's no knock to Steve Kerr. I trust Ime Udoka to make more adjustments come playoff time than I do Steve Kerr. It's like the way that Steve Kerr has coached down the stretch the last month, it kind of gives me cause for concern. It's like I don't have those concerns with Ime Udoka, and I dare the Warriors to try to play that small ball crap against Sengun. They're gonna have a field day.
And defensively, man, what Udoka would do defensively,
Yes.
because here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna make Draymond be one of the folks that
Exactly. He gonna force him to be a
try to
scoring
beat him.
threat. Yep.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like you and I were talking the other day, the whole discussion about Draymond saying he should be the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Not when in that game, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was whoever offense, as you would say. Whoever offense.
It was
on,
against the
Draymond.
Spurs. Harrison Barnes was looking like he was at Carolina again.
Absolutely. Boy, the irony of that too.
I
by the
know,
way.
which is crazy because they
That
did
was
him
crazy.
greasy the way he left the
Exactly.
Warriors. Yep.
Yes. So, but yeah, I have. I thought you were going to say the Warriors because I was certainly going to say the Rockets.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rockets,
Rock-
man.
Rockets are scary right now.
They are.
I'm just going to be real with you. And they play defense, and they don't listen. They don't know what they don't know.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you because the Lakers would play the winner of this series. I'm praying
Yeah.
that the Warriors win because I don't want to play
Me
the
too.
Rockets. I'm not trying to play the
Yeah.
Rockets.
Agreed.
No, sir.
I was just sitting. I just sat there and I did that quick math. I was like, yeah, we want the Warriors to win.
Yeah, like we said, we don't think they're gonna win, but Lord knows I'm praying they do because I'm not trying to
Yes.
play the Rockets, man. I'm
Me
sorry.
either. I mean, I know that to some people that sounds like, yeah, well, y'all putting the cart before the horse because the Lakers got to get past the Wolves. We're simply saying,
Yeah.
if the Lakers beat the Wolves, we don't want to have to play the Rockets.
No, sir. And going back to the Nuggets Clippers series. I bet you the Thunder are praying that the Nuggets win that. They don't want to play the Clippers
Yes.
right now.
They
No,
do
sir.
I'm telling you, I believe that there are going to be a couple of surprise teams in the West. I really do.
Now, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, the Clippers can beat the Thunder.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
telling you now,
Absolutely.
they can. Like I get it. It's like they just match up well against them.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They do. It really is about matchups, and
Yep.
I completely agree with you.
I'm excited.
Everything that the Thunder throw at them, they can counter.
Facts.
They really can. They can
Facts.
counter everything.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, let's move on to the East.
Okay.
Um, Cavs versus the 8 seed, and we talked a little bit about, in those playing games who we thought, was going to win.
Yeah, we think the
I
Bulls would be the eighth seed.
Yes, and it's going to be fun to watch. I'll go ahead and give you mine. It's going to be fun to watch. It may go 5, but I
Yeah.
think the Cavs are going to pretty much handle business.
I completely agree. Nothing for me to even add to that one.
Okay, all right.
Just being honest.
Okay, Pacers and Bucks. I'm gonna let you start with this one because this one isn't as easy as it seems.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm taking the Pacers, and
Okay.
the big reason why I'm saying that is it's like it's just the style of play the Pacers play. They play a
Yes.
up and down style of basketball. And then on
Fast-paced.
top of it, yeah, very fast paced. And here's what I'm gonna say: like I don't know when Dame is coming back.
Right.
So it's like really, if you shut down Giannis, I get it. You have Kyle Kuzma, Brook Lopez, some other players, but there's not another guy on that Bucks team that's gonna go get you 20 points a game in that series. And it's like the Pacers with the style that they play. It's like Giannis is really gonna have to have a Herculean performance throughout that series for them to win. I have the Pacers winning that, and here's what I'm gonna say. I think depending on how this series goes, Giannis really needs to go ahead and evaluate his future in Milwaukee. I'll leave it at
Yeah,
that,
I
though.
think he will.
Mhm.
I think he will.
Yes, sir.
Um, I really, really believe
Yeah.
that is the case.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Knicks Pistons. Again, this is another one.
You're going to be shocked with
I
my
need-
pick, man.
I need for you to pick with your head.
I know.
and not your heart. And I
Um,
will say this. um, the Pistons, in my opinion, are the Rockets East.
I agree. Exactly.
So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how scared we were.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to necessarily use the word scared, but I'm wary.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm wary of the Rockets.
Yeah.
So your pick with the Knicks and the Pistons.
Well, real quick, who was your pick for the Pacers? Buck, was it the Pacers as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's absolutely the Pacers.
Okay, cool.
With Dame not being back, I just think their style of play, and very quickly I'll say this: the Pacers are peaking at the right time.
I agree.
Halliburton struggled literally the first probably three quarters of the first half of this, 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
This last quarter of the season after the after the All-Star weekend, few weeks into that, he found his footing.
I agree.
And they are and by the way, nobody's talking enough about Miles Turner.
No, Miles Turner or Benedict Mathurin. The way he's been
okay.
playing the last month or two, it's like, my goodness.
Yes. So yeah, my bad. I jumped over that too fast. I'm picking the Pacers.
Sounds good.
Yep.
For that Knicks Pistons series, I'm gonna preface it by saying this: Cade Cunningham is my second favorite player, and no bias included. I'm taking the Detroit Pistons. I know that sounds crazy, but the way that Cade Monster has been playing, the way that Jalen Duren Monster, the way that Malik Beasley has been shooting, I'm like, brother, where was this on the Lakers?
Yes.
But I digress. But just the way that the Pistons play basketball, they still play that old school Detroit physical style of basketball. I think that's going to give the Knicks some problems. And here's what I'm going to say as well: JB Bickerstaff, he is a phenomenal coach come playoff time. I get it; he wasn't able to take the Cavs over the top, but I really trust him to make some of those playoff adjustments that are going to be necessary and crucial to winning that series. And a concern for me with the Knicks is they have no depth. It's like,
Agreed.
if Josh Hart or Jalen Brunson or these dudes get tired by game 3 or 4, it's like they have no depth to look forward to this year come playoff
I don't
time.
even know
So-
who their reserves are.
That's the point,
and
like-
I'm not trying to be facetious when I say that. I don't know who the reserves
like
are.
that, when Cam Payne is your backup point guard, like that's
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
bad ball. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Cam Payne, but it's like, bro, like I really like the way the Pistons have been playing, and like here's my thing. They don't give up on games. Even that game yesterday against
No.
Milwaukee, I'm like, they could have just given up. They were down 22 points. They came all the way back and won that game. And they didn't even play
Yes.
their starters. I'm like, everybody on that team just competes. And it's like, come playoff time, that can be the difference sometimes. It's just who wants it more. And,
Yep.
the way Cade has been playing, like, no troll. Kane was number 5 in the MVP voting and discussion, in my opinion. So it's like the way Kane has been playing basketball, it's like that's going to give the Knicks a lot of trouble.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah,
I'm not going to add much. Here's the only thing that I will say is I believe that there are going to be potentially two surprise teams out of the West,
yeah.
and I think there are going to be two surprise teams out of the East. And I think that one of those surprise teams in the East is the Pistons, and I think that the Pacers are going to surprise some people as well.
I completely agree.
So that leaves the Celtics versus the 7 seed, which we think will be
The Magic.
Magic.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I'll just say this very quickly. I think it's going to be the Celtics, but I also think they're going to give the Celtics a problem. And then I actually have, and we'll talk about this as the playoffs progress. I actually have one of those other teams where I say that there's going to be a surprise team. I have one of those surprise teams knocking the Celtics off.
I'm all for it. Here's what I'm gonna say. I do have the Celtics winning that series, but I think it goes 6 games. It's just matchup wise. It's just like, Paolo and Franz Wagner. Those are tough matchups for any team in the NBA.
Yes.
Of course, I'm gonna give the edge to the Celtics because of their experience, and it's like, Drew Holiday just always steps it up come playoff time as well. He's gonna be a matchup problem on offense and on defense. But I am gonna take the Celtics in that series. But like you said, I'm just going to say this: I have the Cavs making it out the East. I don't have the Celtics this year, like most people do.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
So I haven't decided exactly who it's going to be, but I just think, and I think the Cavs have as good of a chance as anybody. But I do believe, Porzingis, you just can never tell.
No.
I mean, I hate to say that, but that's a dude that I think once you get to, second and third rounds, he needs to be available.
I agree.
And you just never know if he's going to be.
And Dad, think about this. The winner of the Knicks Pistons series plays the Celtics. So it's like no matter who wins that series, like the Celtics have struggled against the Pistons this year. Like,
yes.
And here's what we said at the start of the season. I get it. Like, I know the Celtics have beat the Knicks pretty much every time they played throughout the regular season, but matchup wise, it's like that's a tough matchup for 1 through 5 for the Celtics if they end up playing the Knicks. Like, regardless, it's going to be a tough matchup.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think potentially the winner from the Knicks and Pistons will beat the Celtics.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's not far fetched.
It's not.
No,
it's
sir.
Not at all. So, all right. We're gonna start closing it out, but as we do, we've got awards predictions.
We can do this quick.
Yeah, we'll do some quick hits with these, some quick takes. So for the MVP, Jameson, who do you have?
I think it's Shane. If it's not, I promise you, I'm not watching a second of NBA basketball next season because he deserved it last year.
And we agree.
Yes, sir.
We agree. It's Shea for me as well.
Yes, sir.
Defensive Player of the Year.
I think it's going to be Evan Mobley, but in my opinion, I think it should be Dyson Daniels. And I feel like the only reason he's not going to get that's the same amount of votes as Evan Mobley is because of the market he plays in. But Dyson Daniels has been phenomenal throughout this year. But I do think it's going to end up being Evan Mobley.
I agree with you. It's about marketing.
Yeah.
Not as many people have seen what Dyson Daniels has actually done this season.
No, they haven't.
And that's the reason why this whole, the narrative that Draymond Green, no, I'm sorry. I know what you are supposed to be doing, but I also know what I saw the other night.
Exactly.
And you look like Rudy Gobert when he was going around in circles when Luka had him shook.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me. I mean, it was like you said, it was whoever offense on Draymond.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Mobley as well. I think Daniels deserved it just as much.
Yes, sir.
He's just not on TV as much.
I agree.
Rookie of the Year, I'll go ahead and tell you mine. And obviously it's because, for certain reasons. But Stephon Castle, that's who I have for Rookie of the Year. I think he's got it in the bag now.
I completely agree.
Especially given how they played the other night.
No, I completely agree. I think Zachary Risache made a case, the second half of the year. It's just Stephon Castle hit the ground running as soon as the season started. It's like he hasn't let up. So that's my pick as well.
I agree. Absolutely. Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
Honestly, my pick was Malik Beasley, but I'll be honest. I think they're going to give it to Peyton Pritchard, and it goes back to the media thing and the record. It's like the Celtics are the number 2 seed in the East, and the Pistons are the 6th seed. But in reality, it's like if Malik Beasley doesn't play at the level he's played throughout this year, I don't think the Pistons are probably a playing team, unfortunately.
Yep.
So
I agree.
yeah,
I think he made more threes this year than Steph.
he did.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if I had a vote, it would be Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
But to your point, because of the team's record, I think it's going to be Pritchard.
And it's no knock to Peyton Pritchard because it's like he's what he deserves it as well. Like he's had a phenomenal year. It's just marketing does and the media does play a big role in this as well, though. To your point,
yeah, and the market,
yeah,
because a lot of folks listen. The NBA has done a terrible job of marketing teams like Detroit.
Facts, it's terrible.
It's been terrible.
And then think about it now. I was thinking about this the other day. The games that they have now televised for the Pistons and some of these small market teams like the Hawks. I'm like, bro, you wait until the last month of the season when half these teams are resting players or dudes are hurt. It's like even the other night they had the Thunder versus the Pistons and K didn't play. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
That's not doing the Pistons any good.
No, it's not. At all. It's bad marketing.
Those of us who know basketball, we've been paying attention to what Cade has been doing.
Facts.
But the casual fan doesn't.
No, they don't.
The Pistons play regularly because they don't put them on TV enough.
Facts, and nobody's buying League Pass. We on Stream East.
Thank you. Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Keep that quiet. All right. Last one. Most improved player. Who do you have?
I mentioned his name earlier. I think it's gonna be Dyson Daniels. Another name too is no bias is Cade Cunningham, but I think Dyson has made a bigger jump. Like he went from averaging 3 to 4 points last year to 14 this year, and being in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year. So I think it's gonna be Dyson Daniels.
And I think because they're going to give the Defensive Player of the Year to Mobley, I think that he definitely deserves
Facts.
Most Improved Player if he doesn't get the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, sir.
So I've got Daniels as well. Look, an argument could be made that it's Cade Cunningham.
I agree.
It really could be. But I think to your point, I think it's going to be Dyson Daniels because of how big the jump actually was.
For sure.
All right, as we wrap up, I'm going to go to what we always do, and that's moving the needle. Jameson, what do you have?
My moving the needle is the WNBA draft tonight. I'll be honest, I love Paige Beckers. I already know she's going to be the first pick. She's going to the Dallas Wings. But the other three women that I'm excited to see and very intrigued to see where they end up getting drafted are Kiki Area-Finn, Haley Van Lith, and that Tahina Pow monster.
I was about to say, man, I'm anxious to see where Pow ends up.
Me too. Her and Haley Van Lith, because I'm like, seeing some of the mock drafts, they got Haley Van Lith going to the sky. I'm like, how fitting would it be for her and Angel Reese to reunite on the next level? So
that would be crazy.
And I think, like I said, I know they're gonna have Vandersloot back this year on the Chicago Sky, but they're really missing a true point guard. I feel like Haley Van Lith can go in there and make a difference really fast. If they end up getting her, and same with Pow, depending on what team she goes to. I think she's gonna be great at the next level.
Yeah, I think the projections are she's either eighth or ninth.
Yeah, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun to see.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, my moving the needle very quickly is Jim Tanner and the Tar Heels. That brother is doing his thing.
Facts.
I'm just going to say this very, very quickly because there are some, and I'm putting air quotes up when I say this, fans, Carolina fans, who, no matter who, there's speculation about us potentially having, like Cannon Catchings. I'm just going to go ahead and say his name. Everybody said, it was a 10 out of 10. It was crystal ball that he was coming to Carolina. Jim Tanner has a plan, and I think it's been quite shrewd with the way he's done it. And I think that what happened in this, because that's what I'm kind of hearing behind the scenes, that, Catchings was basically given an opportunity to come in and make a decision, knowing that Jaren Stevenson was also very interested.
Yes, sir.
And he was pretty much told, this is how we intend to use you. This is your role, but you don't have but a certain amount of time to make a decision because we have somebody else kind of waiting in the wings.
Facts.
And that's why Jaren Stevenson happened so fast. Everybody was like, "Oh, we didn't get catchings. We missed out." No, we didn't.
I'm gonna be
We got
honest. I think Stevenson can make more of a difference next year, especially if Drake Powell
an
ends up
immediate
coming
impact.
back. Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I tip my hat to Jim Tanner and Hubert Davis because I think they have a really good game plan. I'm seeing it come to fruition. I'm seeing certain things happen. And I think that, the Tar Heels are on the right track. They've had to take some time to make the adjustment with NIL, a little bit slower than other teams have, but I think we're on the right course now. So,
We honestly,
again,
that to put into perspective, we might have the number one transfer portal pickups. This so far this
class.
offseason class. Excuse me.
Yes.
And think about it. We went from man our big stink to we got arguably the best big in the transfer portal. And Henri Voss is it Vosser? Am I murking his name?
Yeah, I'm Andre
Vassar.
Vassar.
Yeah,
Vassar.
Vassar, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we got him in this now Stevenson. It's like we've been making some really good moves. We got the guard from Colorado State. It's like I'm loving what we're doing, man. Like
absolutely.
I'm very impressed. To your point,
I I think they've put together a really good roster so far, and I still think there's maybe one or two. There's still some, what is Drake Powell going to do? That's still kind of in the in the balance.
yeah,
But what we've done, what I've seen so far, what Jim Tanner's doing thus far, hats off. I
yeah,
tip my hat.
yes, sir.
So, all right, that's gonna wrap up this week's edition of the J&J podcast. Appreciate everybody listening in. We'll see you back next week.